Inventory management is the process of tracking and storing products to meet customer demand quickly and efficiently. Simple enough, but the topic comes with a few questions. Like, how much do I need to order when first starting out? Why does this matter in the first place? How can you tell how well your inventory management is actually going? And if it's going badly, how can you change that? In this video, I'm going to be tackling all those questions and more, so let's jump in. So I'm just gonna get the number one question out of the way for new Amazon sellers. And that question being, if I were to start selling on Amazon, how many units do I actually need to launch a product? Now, of course, pre-warning, this can vary from product to product, but I'll give you a rough estimate. Many existing sellers recommend starting out with around 500 units per product, but a lot of suppliers only deal with MOQs, which are minimum order quantities. So if your supplier has an MOQ of say 1,000 units, it's just gonna depend on what your supplier is able to provide. So let's say roughly around 500 to 1,000 units to start. Now, you may be thinking 500 units sounds a little bit low. But when you're just starting out, it can be a good idea to start with a smaller amount to mitigate risk. What I mean by that is you don't want to start off with 2,000 units and then you only end up selling maybe 100 units per month. You'll have money tied up in those assets and you're also going to have to consider storage costs. So take that with a grain of salt, but that's what I would recommend when starting out. So why does inventory management matter? Well, quite simply, your inventory is an asset to your business, and if not managed properly, it can actually end up hurting your business. It ensures the right amount of stock is on hand to satisfy customer needs while not overstocking or incurring unnecessary storage fees. Maybe a better way to illustrate why inventory management is so important is if I explain what can go wrong if you don't manage it. So let's check out some common problem areas. Probably the first issue that comes to mind is going out of stock. Going out of stock can result in a loss of sales because your product is no longer available. And if your product isn't available, then potential customers will have no choice but to buy from your competitors. Amazon listings will get penalized for going out of stock, and as a result, the rank will plummet. You're basically going back to square one because you're gonna have to redo all your PPC work. And this can be extremely expensive to try and re-rank your listing. Another thing people don't necessarily think about is that going out of stock, you're missing out on potential reviews. Especially when you're first starting out, getting reviews is so critical to the success of your business. So if you're not making sales, there's no chance of reviews. So the second issue we see with Amazon inventory management is overstocking, or in other words, having excess inventory. Overstocking sucks money out of your business by tying up resources and running up storage costs. It's considered excess inventory if you have over 90 days of supply, at least one unit aged over 90 days, or if you have better ROI opportunities, such as reducing the price to increase sales. So the third issue I'm going to talk about is having stranded stock or dead stock. Stranded inventory is sellable inventory that may be at a fulfillment center that isn't actually listed for sale. The fourth issue is spoilage. Now, spoilage doesn't affect a ton of people, but there are a few niches where it does. If you're selling food, supplements, or cosmetics, usually all of those have an expiry date. So when you're holding inventory past its sale date, then your investment kind of just goes down the drain. So the final common issue we'll talk about are high storage costs. And this kind of ties into overstocking because if you're overstocking, you'll see high storage costs. Optimizing your storage space will help you to lower costs and stock fast-selling items. Not tracking your inventory can lead to higher storage costs, liquidation, or removal. All right, so there's all these issues, but what can you actually do to efficiently manage your inventory? The first thing you can do is build and manage your relationship with your suppliers. Building and maintaining a relationship with your supplier is critical, not only because they'll ensure that your inventory normally is on time, but if you're in a pinch where you really needed inventory expedited, they're more likely to help you if you have a good relationship versus a bad one. Monitoring your sell-through rate is also very important because you need to see how fast inventory is coming in and out to plan for how much inventory you need in the future. It's also advised to regularly restock your most popular products. it's a good idea to run promotions to reduce aging inventory. Now, you may just break even or take a minimal loss, but it's better than continually paying storage fees for that inventory. Also, always be watching your margins. It's also recommended that you maintain 4 weeks of inventory cover. The reason being is if you have a period where you see a major spike in sales, you want to be able to accommodate those people instead of running out of stock. All right, so now you know some tips on how to effectively manage your inventory. But once you're doing that, how do you know you're actually managing it correctly? One way to do that is look at your IPI. An IPI stands for Inventory Performance Index Score. Your IPI score measures how efficient and productive you are at managing your Amazon inventory. Basically, it's designed to represent your overall inventory performance. When you take actions to improve your inventory efficiency, then you'll see your IPI score rise. An IPI is based on how well you replenish popular products, if you maintain healthy inventory levels, and how quickly you fix listing problems. It's scored on a basis of 0 to 1,000, and Amazon sets thresholds that Amazon sellers need to meet. The score is calculated twice every 3 months or every quarter. The first time it's calculated is 6 weeks before the quarter ends, and the second time it's calculated is at the very end of the quarter. Okay, so we're now gonna find our IPI on Amazon Seller Central. So we're gonna hit in the inventory tab and we'll go down to inventory planning. We'll click on that and it should take us to a page called the inventory dashboard. So here we can see our IPI, and if we actually click on the IPI, it'll take us to our performance. Now you can actually scroll down, it'll give you a lot of different features, but you can actually scroll down and Amazon will suggest ways to improve your performance. So let's quickly look at the additional tools that you can find within the Inventory Planning tab. If we look first, you can see the Manage Inventory Health tab. So this is going to show you very helpful metrics, and Amazon is really great in that it offers solutions to issues that you're facing. So this will show you really helpful metrics, and Amazon is great because it actually offers solutions to each one of your issues for each ASIN. Next, we have the Restock Inventory tab. Now, this shows you how many days of supply you have left for each ASIN. It also recommends the amount and date you should send in more inventory. You can even create a reoccurring shipping plan from this tab. Next, there's the Fixed Stranded Inventory tab. And here you can find a plan of action on how to tackle those issues. Finally, there's the Manage FBA Returns tab. And this is about as simple as you think it is. It's just managing your FBA returns. Okay, so another thing we're gonna wanna talk about is restock limits. So this can actually be found on the same performance tab that your IPI is on. Just check that you're hitting performance up here. Click on the Restock Limits tab on the bottom left, which can be found here. You'll see things like maximum inventory levels and maximum shipment quantities. Now, I may have already mentioned this, but as long as your score is at or above the minimum threshold, then you'll qualify for unlimited storage. If your score falls below the threshold on both weeks that it's measured, then Amazon will set storage limits on your account for the next quarter. Restock limits are basically based on your past and forecasted sales. Now, you may notice another tab, which is the storage volume. So restock limits are the number of units, while storage volume is the usage of space in an Amazon warehouse in cubic feet. So now that you know where to find your IPI score, how do you manage it effectively? You can do this by managing your inventory levels. Maintain balanced inventory between sold and in-stock items while avoiding overstocking. Avoid those long-term storage fees and fix listing problems. And how can you increase the IPI score? Kind of along the same lines, reduce excess inventory, improve your 90-day rolling sell-through rate, and you do this by maintaining the right balance of inventory over a period of time. And ensure that inventory is buyable by fixing listings that are stranded. Basically, these are the parameters you're going to want to look at to efficiently manage your inventory. Like I said at the start of this video, inventory management is not the most fun subject, but it is critical to the success of your Amazon FBA business. If this video helped you out at all, please consider liking and subscribing as it helps out the channel. We are putting out new videos each week that helps to educate Amazon sellers like yourself. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.